Welcome to the Cause Effect with your host, Carl Kozlowski, and his team of correspondents bringing you the world's bad news badly. And now, Carl Kozlowski. And greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to another edition of the Cause Effect from the glorious studios of Radio Titans in Los Angeles. I'm Carl Kozlowski, who is a libertarian, generally, back to embracing Rand Paul, at least long enough to vote for him in the primary, and then we'll see from there. But anyways, as always, we have a couple of our other panelists here. By phone, we're reaching out to, from the left, the voice of Black Reason, Tymon Shipp.
Power to the people, positive. We're coming to you from Denver, Colorado. Brothers really don't like the cold, but I'm out here dealing with it. And Happy New Year, people.
Wow. Okay.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Happy New Year. And
That's
also
right.
from the our right-wing attack dog is out for the day, Ari David, but I will be turning that off in a moment. And then, but from the left, as always, but still funny, kicking things off with the week's bad news in a funny fashion. It's Mr. Dr. David Robinson with The Week We Were.
Thank you very much, Carl. Our top story this week, Mexican officials say they recaptured notorious drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, and now that he's in custody, they're hoping to set up a meeting between Guzman and Donald Trump to discuss this whole wall thing. And that would be interesting, get the two of them in a room. Police in Paris killed a man with a cleaver and a fake explosive vest this week, surprising Americans who are used to police using guns to kill people. North Korea this week said it successfully tested a hydrogen bomb, then went into detail about all the girls in the Niagara Falls area with whom they're currently riding the hobby horse.
Okay.
Breakfast Club reference.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. A great white shark died after 3 days in captivity at a Japanese aquarium, leaving the aquarium with a reasonable facsimile of a piece of Damien Hirst's artwork. British guy who, dead shark in a tank, put that on. Going a little highbrow this week, sorry. Closer to home, asked this week why they voted for yet another bill to repeal health care reform. Knowing the president would veto it, congressional Republicans said, I don't know, beats working. The FBI is trying to figure out what the San Bernardino shooters were doing for 8.5 minutes that can't be accounted for on the day of the shooting. But they don't seem to be investigating my theory that the shooters were reconstructing the gap in Nixon's White House tapes. Two 18-minute gaps. Can't be a coincidence, right?
Maybe they were, never mind. I didn't want to know what I was going to think about.
Yeah, I probably don't. Big story this week, President Obama made sure that he wasn't armed when he introduced new executive orders on gun control, so nobody could say that this was going to be one of those times when a good guy with a gun stops bad guys with guns. Did it empty-handed. Beautiful man. President Obama did propose laws to prevent the mentally ill from getting guns, but did admit that he can't keep them from trying to get the Republican nomination. And there are plenty. Speaking of, Wayne LaPierre, the CEO of the NRA, complained this week that the federal background check system doesn't list mentally incompetent individuals, which to me just sounded like he was complaining about not being on the list.
I was going to say, if they want the list of mentally incompetent individuals, all they have to do is purchase the NRA membership list.
Yeah, right. There's and I say this as a gun owner. The NRA does not represent. No. There's a big difference. Unfortunately, Ari isn't here to argue against the truth of this point, but it's like there are crazy ass jihadist terrorists, and then there are Muslims. It's the two. There is in the Venn diagram there is some overlap, but not a lot. Speaking of crazy, Donald Trump released his first TV ad this week, and media critics say the ad follows a rich cinematic tradition established by classic films like The Birth of a Nation and Triumph of the Will. Former Playboy Playmate, MySpace sensation, and current full-time crazy person Tila Tequila said she's hoping to become Donald Trump's running mate because somebody on the ticket should be bringing rational thought to the campaign. More likely to come out of her. Affluenza teen Ethan Couch, who is currently in jail in Mexico. Turns out he spent $2,000 on strippers and booze in Mexico because apparently that's what you do when you're in Mexico with your mom.
His mom looks like Carrot Top.
Wow. Have
you noticed?
Yeah, now I'm not going to be able to unsee that. I don't know if you guys saw this in the news this week, because she was extradited to jail here in L.A. before being sent back to Texas. And apparently she was complaining to the cops about her jail cell, and they just shut her down. They're like, this ain't a resort, it's jail. So,
right.
Life lessons.
And so now you know why the kid was able to get away with what he was able to get away with.
Yeah, because these people are idiots.
She orchestrated the whole thing.
It's like nobody has ever seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's if you need basic lessons in bad parenting or what not to do, that's a great movie. Kick back, watch that with your kids. Maybe they'll be able to explain it to you if you have trouble understanding the lesson. Getting back to the news, all up in business news, the New York City Chick-fil-A location was closed due to a fly infestation, but the conservative Christian owners say they'll reopen just as soon as they're sure they won't be afflicted by any other biblical plagues. Because that slaying of the firstborn child, really bad for customer retention. Not going to get a lot of people coming back. Bud Light is offering limited edition bottles to commemorate Super Bowl 50. Unfortunately, the bottles will still be filled with Bud Light. Aluminum manufacturer Alcoa is closing the largest smelter facility in the United States, saying they're just really tired of hearing all the "smelter, I just walked her home" jokes. The CDC says e-cigarette ads are targeting millions of children, but manufacturers denied the claim, saying their ads only target the cool kids. Turning to science, a new study says that aspirin can help cut the risk of prostate cancer. Even better, it also works if the aspirin is administered orally.
I remember that one.
Modern medicine, kids. 4 new elements were added to the periodic table this week. You've got an element of danger, the element of surprise, elementary, my dear Watson, and the Honda element. Exciting science news there. A new CDC study says that single parents have the worst odds for getting a good night's sleep, proving that some people will place bets on just about anything. Scientists say they used diamonds to push hydrogen into a strange new state, but other scientists disputed the findings, saying that while Florida is definitely strange, it's really not new at all. A new study says that antidepressants taken during the first 12 weeks of a pregnancy increase the baby's risk for birth defects, but doctors say that if you keep taking the antidepressants, you won't be so bothered by any birth defects.
You're going to burn for that one.
It's like just, calm sailing. Keep it level. That's what the pills do. In the world of sports, an MRI has revealed that Patriots quarterback Tom Brady's right ankle is sprained and not significantly underinflated as was previously believed. Looking at entertainment, the People's Choice Awards were held this week in an effort to help anyone who isn't into politics understand why people shouldn't be allowed to choose things. Lowest common denominator, folks. That's I think that's what the awards should be called, but they might not pull in the viewers with that. Prosecutors in Los Angeles say they won't charge Bill Cosby with drugging and raping a woman due to the statute of limitations, which gives new meaning to the old saying, you snooze, you lose. Justin Bieber was ejected from a national park in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula after allegedly burying his bottom, but witnesses say, he was just acting like an ass. Doctors this week released findings saying that Natalie Cole was killed by a rare lung disease, which is even sadder because anyone who knew her knew that she preferred a lung disease medium well.
God damn it.
I know. It's unforgettable.
Your feet are burning.
Yeah, that's, I already have my reservation in the handbasket, so
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. General Mills is releasing the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice themed cereals Batman Chocolate Strawberry and Superman Caramel Crunch, despite research that indicates most fans say they'd rather eat Wonder Woman.
Hell yeah!
Woo! Steely Dan frontman Donald Fagen was charged with assaulting his wife this week, suggesting that they may be due for a Haitian divorce.
I don't know what that means.
It's a Steely Dan song.
Oh.
That one's, just a very niche joke there. 200 floppy disks belonging to Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry have been recovered. Surprisingly, most of them were filled with his erotic Star Wars fan fiction. Who knew he was doing that? And finally, new research says that tiny chameleons have the world's most powerful tongues. Reached for comment, female chameleons just smiled appreciatively. I'm Dr. David Robinson, and that was The Week We Were, where we don't make the news, we just make it memorable.
All right. Good job, sir.
Thank you very much.
So this week we also have with us a Burst of Durst, which I am trying to find. Just give me one split second.
What was that?
Damn it. Okay, just 1 second, folks.
Just about time for our Burst of Durst.
And
Okay.
here we go.
Hi, Will.
Hey guys, Will Durst here, wishing you the happiest of New Year's. And while we're at it, how about a few predictions for the upcoming 12 months? After dropping out of the presidential race, Chris Christie will hit the talk show circuit to publicize his celebrity diet book, but be turned down by everyone except a podcaster in Calabasas. Disney enters negotiations to purchase Tibetan Buddhism with the aim of starring a rambunctious little Buddha in his own Saturday morning cartoon. At the next GOP debate, Carly Fiorina smiles so hard, all the other participants on the dais recoil at the sound of enamel cracking. Her face will then freeze like that. In Dallas, Texas, a benefit held to establish the Ethan Couch Affluenza Support Group raises $1. After a heckler at the Masters tournament shouts from the edge of the 12th green, "Give it up, Grandpa!" Tiger Woods chases him with a putter, trips, and falls into Rays Creek. Rents in San Francisco will climb so high, members of the middle class will be forced to inhabit tree houses in Golden Gate Park. No matter who wins the presidency, Bill Clinton will actively campaign to get appointed ambassador to Sweden. Air travel will devolve to the point that certain discount tickets require peddling. During a stump speech in Concord, New Hampshire, Donald Trump's hat will fly off and his hair will be wind-whipped into the shape of a sail, whisking him airborne into the parking lot of a Montpelier, Vermont public library. The NFL will lobby the Catholic Church to celebrate Mass on Monday mornings in order to not interfere with football. Minnesota Department of Game officials decide not to search for whoever shot the lion-killing dentist Walter Palmer with a bow and arrow. And finally, the Chicago Cubs will lose Game 7 of the World Series when a lightning bolt strikes Ben Zobrist 10 feet from home as he attempts to score the tying run. Oh, wait till next year. For the Cause Effect, I'm Will Durst.
Yay, thanks, Will.
Thank you. Yeah, no, this is going to be our year. The Cubs are going to take it this year.
Yeah.
We got really close.
Take
we
it
got
up,
really...
though.
No, it's last year was just supposed to be our rebuilding year, and look how far the team went. So I think honestly, we'll see what happens. You never know, even this far before the season. But I think this is going to be the year the Cubs finally win the whole shebang.
All right.
No jinx.
So this week, not the upcoming season, but this week we have a lot of interesting news as always. And President Obama delivered a stirring speech, I believe, on Monday about guns and issuing out his latest executive orders in dealing with the problem because the Congress won't discuss hardly anything with him, if anything. So he issued some statements, mostly expanding background checks, correct, and I believe like regulating more of the untraditional